Good, so we're gonna work on opening hips, low back, and a bit of the chest. So you can pull the knee in, give yourself a little rock side to side. Taking deep inhales, deep exhales, and waking the body up. And then plant your hands into the ground and start to roll your knees in a gentle circle. Massaging out the low back, the glutes, hips. Good, still breathing. As you slowly move the body, you start to feel the mind settle down. Gently roll your knees in the other direction. And then take your arms out wide. On your exhale, drop your knees over to the left and then gaze to the right. Good, so especially in the morning, we'll feel a lot of tension along the back, especially that low back. Take a moment to notice if you're holding in the hips and relax the hips, relax the belly. And just take a moment to breathe and allow the muscle to expand. Take a moment just to inch that right knee on top of the left knee a little bit more. And then again, once the knees are heavy on each other, relax the hips, relax the chest and shoulders. Inviting that slightly deeper stretch. And then draw the knees through center. Big inhale. Big exhale, drop your knees over to the right. And then gaze to the left. Take a moment to let your body recalibrate for a moment. There's a smooth transition between the inhale and the exhale. Exhale and inhale. No pausing, no holding the breath. Again, just a little moment of effort. Bring your left knee a little more on top of that right knee. And once it's planted down, relax the hips, relax the belly and shoulders. Smooth, deep breaths, cleansing breaths that allow you to exhale whatever isn't serving you in this moment. Inhaling whatever it is that you need out of this practice. And gently pull your knees back to center. And we're just going to do a little wash side to side. Exhale over to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale left. Inhale up. Exhale right. Inhale. Take 2 more cycles at your own pace. Smooth breaths. And taking final one towards the right. Just whenever you're ready, you can move into your happy baby. Grabbing the outer edges, the feet, ankles, or knees, wherever you can reach, and feel a little bit of that discomfort. Press your tailbone down. Push your feet up towards the ceiling, hands resist down. And then activate the glutes to feel that deep inner thigh stretch. Soften the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, release the left side. Left leg goes to the floor. Left arm reaches back. Big stretch. exhale, squeeze your left leg back in. Inhale, right side now reaches long. Squeeze that left glute. And exhale, back in. Inhale the left side. And exhale, draw it back. Inhale, right side. And exhale, back. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale the mouth. And release your feet onto the ground. Keep your knees wide. Feet are about as wide as the mat. And then reach your arms up overhead. And then drop your knees over to the left. And inhale through center. And exhale, knees to the left. Inhale, press into the glutes. Exhale, left. Inhale through center. Exhale, right. Inhale. And the next time you drop to the left, hold there. Feel that right inner knee reaching towards the ground and how it stretches your quads. And then lift the left foot up and into the midline to place your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Good. Add that little squeeze to your right glute. You can grab your right wrist and pull the right wrist up and over to the left. And feel that expansion from your right wrist all the way down, your ribs, your core, right hip flexor, quads. And gently release. Take your feet still as wide as the mat and rock your knees this time to the right. And we're going to lift right foot up and into the midline, rested on top of the left thigh. Grab your left wrist and pull to the right. Good. Focusing on the lengthening instead of the tilting of the body. Slight squeeze in your left glute to really open up that hip flexor. And gently release. Draw your knees back to center and wiggle your feet in so that they're inner hips distance apart. Draw the heels close to the glutes. And then on your next inhale, we're going to lift the hips up into bridge pose. And hold that bridge. Imagine you're trying to squeeze something between the inner thighs, and so feel that energy as you squeeze inward. Push your heels into the ground. And if it's accessible to you, you can also clasp the hands underneath you. And then roll to the left, slide your right shoulder under the ribs, roll to the right, slide your left shoulders under the ribs. Just to add a little more stretch across the chest. Smooth breath in. Deep breath out. Keep the glutes active. For 3, push into the shoulders. 2. And 1, release and slowly lower down. Releasing the shoulders. You can bring your right ankle on top of the left thigh. And then thread the needle. Right hand goes through the triangle of the legs. Both hands clasp behind the left thigh. And you can pull the left leg in, flex that right foot all the way back so you see a right angle right in front of you. Push your tailbone into the mat and you can add a little rock over to the left and back to center. Feel free to use that right elbow to add a little more resistance and push on the inner right thigh. Making sure you're uncomfortable but not in pain. knowing cognitively that discomfort is just what's required for change, for growth. So while we sit in discomfort, can we still breathe? Can we still soften the face? Can we still be present so we can really soak in the gifts that are already here for us? Next time you're towards the left side, hold there. Keep anchoring the tailbone down, flexing the right foot back. Inviting the breath deep into that right hip, maybe even visualizing a swirling ball of breath rushing down to that hip as you inhale and scooping up whatever isn't needed so you can pull it back up and out on the exhale. And then gently come back to center. Keep your legs crossed. Slide your hands away, arms out wide. And then we're going to cross your right leg over even more. So you've got right knee on top of left knee. And then drop your knees to the left. Gaze to the right. So this is a deeper twist. More weight to help assist in your twist. If you feel misaligned or you feel like you want a little deeper, you can push into your right elbow and scoot your left shoulder a little closer to the edge of your mat. And that's going to help align the spine for a deeper twist. And then just gaze over the right shoulder, soften the core, soften your right shoulder towards the ground. These twists are so helpful in relieving the pressure between the joints in the spine, giving some space for the vertebrae. So those nerve endings can freely flow, mind to body, body to mind. Releasing some of the tension along the spine, those erector spinae muscles, releasing, softening. Gently unravel the legs and then come back up to center. And extend your legs to the ceiling. Give your ankles a roll. Rolling in all directions, curling the toes, flexing them back. And then place your feet back down on the ground, knees bent. And then we're going to switch and get your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Thread the needle, left arm through the triangle of the legs. So both hands can clasp behind the right thigh. Flex the left foot, anchor the tailbone down. You can add that rock over to the right and back to center. Just easing into that deeper posture. Gently rolling back and forth. And if any thoughts are still swirling in your head, see if you can kindly place them on a shelf. So you can come back to the breath, back to the movement. And then pull over to the right and hold. Tailbone heavy. Again, feeling free to use now that left elbow on the inner left thigh for some added resistance. You can visualize that ball of air swirling into the hip. Maybe you prefer a ball of light or something I can't even imagine because you have your own imagination. Take a few deep breaths. Using that creativity to experience something in your body to make it feel a little more real, a little more palpable. another deep breath here. Gently guide your knee back to center. Slide your arms away and then slide your left knee on top of the right knee. And then you can drop your knees over to the right and gaze to the left. Good, hold right here. Or again, if you'd like to deepen, you can kind of scooch that right shoulder closer to the right edge of the mat. And then everything softens. The breath is full and even, so smooth. And then gently unravel the legs, come back up to center. And move into your happy baby again. Grab the outer edges of the feet, ankles or knees. Feel free to give yourself a little rock side to side, neutralizing the spine. Then play with straightening one leg, the other. Alternating side to side. Feel free to lower the hands to the ankles or knees if you're at the feet. Maybe both legs can straighten. Take a deep breath in, smooth breath out. And then gently release and lower your heels back to the ground, knees bent. From here, our hips are heavy on the floor, and we're going to imagine the whole lower half of the body is almost paralyzed, so there's no resistance. It's just heavy, feel gravity pull down. We're going to use our hands and push on the uppermost part of your femur bone and just push it away, allowing the low back to decompress. Make sure the belly is soft, the hips are soft. And take another deep breath here. And gently release. Curl the knees into the chest. And then inhale. On your exhale, tuck and curl into a tight ball, lifting the tailbone, lifting the shoulders. Inhale, release. Exhale, tight ball, everything curls up off the mat. And inhale. One more, exhale to curl it up. And inhale, release, extend the legs out about as wide as the mat or wider. Give the legs a little jiggle. And palms to the sky, slide the shoulder blades down. Just going to take a few moments in Shavasana before we transition into meditation. Really feeling the effects of the practice, a lightness in the body and ease. Literally experiencing channels opening, more blood flow, more energy. Allow all these muscles that have been stretching and working, allow them to soften and to simply be. Deepen the breath. Move through the fingers and toes, feeling your thumbs graze across the tips of your other fingers. And roll the wrists and ankles. And then reach the arms back, give your body a big stretch. And then exhale, pull your knees into the chest. And then roll onto the right side. You can use your right upper arm like a pillow. Take a deep breath in. Smooth breath out. And then slowly rise up to sit. You can keep the eyes closed or the gaze soft. You're going to find a comfortable seat for meditation. So you want one ankle in front of the other, not on top, so that there's no pressure. Both knees should be towards the ground. And if you find that your low back is hunching or that your knees are lifted too high, you can always sit on top of a block, a pillow, blanket, until there's ease in the body. Palms down on the thigh for some grounding. You can flip your palms up if you're more in the mood for receiving. So really feeling out what it is you need out of your practice. Feel the belly button engage in towards the spine slightly. And then stack the vertebrae. Little mini forces helping you feel light. And then soften the shoulders, soften the chin. Release the glutes. Take a moment to acquaint yourself again with the mind. Notice if it is still, if it is calm. Maybe it's still swirling and moving. Just observe it. Without judgment. Notice if you noticing the mind has changed anything. Any small shifts in the energy of the mind. Any sensations in the body. Almost as if you are an observer of nature. Just as you watch the trees shimmer in the sunlight or the birds flitting around, you watch and you observe with awe, with fascination, what goes on in the body, what goes on in the mind. And just as you wouldn't judge a tree for curving a certain way, or a bird for tweeting a certain way, experience that non-judgmental attitude towards the activity of the mind and the body. How freeing it is. Notice an opening in the heart as you soften expectations, as you soften judgment. Notice an exciting, deepened connection to your authentic self. The you in your natural state when you are not playing roles. The you you've always been ever since you were just a cooing, giggling baby. just as you would melt and soften for a baby. Experience that same warmth and compassion towards yourself. That spark of life in you. Granting yourself the freedom to simply be. Gently begin to deepen the breath. Draw your hands to your heart, thumb connecting to the sternum. Inhale again, tall, strong. Exhale, soften. Committing to memory this connection to your authentic, whole self, that spark of light that you are. Soft smile on the face. Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste.